where members will be deliberating on a couple of bills, as well as resuming on debates that were interrupted on various dates during this particular year and during this session when the House happens to be sitting. And just to be taking you through the highlights in the order of business this afternoon is that the Committee of the Whole will be considering the work bill. It is a bill by the lead of majority, Bill number 73 of 2019. The National Commission of Human Rights Amendment Bill, this being National Assembly Bill number 1 of 2020 by the Chairperson Constitutional Implementation as well as Oversight Committee, is lined up for debate. The bill is currently in its second reading. And the National Electronic Single Window System Bill, National Assembly Bills number 15 of 2021 by the lead of majority, is also lined up for debate. And so is the County Government's Grants Bill, Senate Bill number 35 of 2021 by the Chairperson Budget and Appropriations Committee. There will be two motions before the floor this afternoon. The first motion is by the Chairperson Committee on Implementation. It is a motion on the report of the implementation status on the inquiry into the complaints of an environmental pollution. This is by London Distillers Limited. That particular report was laid on the table of the House on September 30th, 2021. The second motion is a report on the Committee of the Whole. This is on the Work Bill, National Assembly Bill number 73 of 2019 by the lead of majority, that this House adopts or do agree with the report of the Committee of the Whole House on its consideration on the Work Bill, National Assembly Bill number 73 of 2019, and 6 leave to sit again today. Thereafter, a question will be put in regards to that particular report before the House. You can watch this broadcast on our YouTube channel, courtesy of Parliament of Kenya, as well as on Parliamentary Broadcasting Unit's handle, as well as on KBC Channel 1. Pursuant to the provisions of Standing Orders number 42A subsection 5, various members will be fielding questions for reply before specified departmental committees. And the member, nominated Honorable Denita Gatti, will be asking the Cabinet Secretary for Public Service, Gender and Senior Citizens, as well as Special Programs, to explain the status of the construction of the Nguruna Gender-Based Violence and Women's Center in Nyabasi Ward East in Kuria East constituency in Migori County. And could the Cabinet Secretary provide a breakdown of the total cost of the construction of the said centers, names of the constructors, as well as how much has been paid to the contractors to date? And lastly, the nominated MP will be seeking to understand when the center is expected to be completed, and her questions will be fielded before the Departmental Committee on Matters Labor and Social Welfare. Another member who will be seeking clarification is Honorable Member for Marsabit County, that is Honorable Safia Sheikh, who will be asking the Cabinet Secretary for Education what steps the Ministry of Education is taking to ensure that children from the pastoralist communities, this is in arid as well as semi-arid lands, get equal access to education, similar to the quality available to the rest of the country, and what the ministry is doing to ensure that schools' dropout rates in arid and semi-arid lands are minimized, and that the girls in these areas are sheltered from the discriminative learning opportunities that stem from the cultural biases that deter their right to education. Questions by Honorable Member for Marsabit County will be replied before the Departmental Committee on Matters Education and Research. Captain Rueda Obo, Member of Parliament for Lamu County will be asking the Cabinet Secretary for Information, Communication and Technology, as well as Youth Affairs, to explain measures that the ministry has put in place to improve mobile telephony network. This is the coverage in Sio, Kizingitini and Shanga areas in Lamu County. This is to aid service delivery and communication for residents and other mobile users in the said areas. And could the Cabinet Secretary further explain the measures the ministry has put in place to upgrade the existing networks to 4G in Lamu County, and further provide timelines for this upgrade? Questions by member for Lamu County will be replied before the Departmental Committee on Communication, Information and Matters Innovation. Bishop Kawira Mwangaza, who happens to be the member for Meru County, will be asking the Cabinet Secretary for Gender as well as Senior Citizen Affairs the measures the ministry has put in place to ensure that the youth in Meru County access employment opportunities and are also economically empowered. The member will also be seeking to understand the measures that have been put in place by the ministry to ensure seamless employment transitions. This is in all government institutions to enable youth to access as well as gain employment opportunities across the country. Questions by Honorable Kawira Mwangaza will be replied before the Departmental Committee on Matters Labor and Social Welfare. The business of the House is just about to commence with the entry of the National Assembly Speaker, Justin Muturi, into the chambers. I'll now be handing over for the live broadcast. My name is Gladys Mungai. Enjoy your viewing and good afternoon.
Let us pray. Almighty God, who in your wisdom and goodness have appointed the office of leaders and parliaments for the welfare of society and the just government of the people, we beseech you to behold with your abundant favor us, your servants, whom you've been pleased to call to the performance of important trusts in this republic. Let your blessings descend upon you assembled, and grant that we treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to enforce the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country, and of those whose interests are committed to our church. Amen.
Coming in. There's one member coming in.
Okay, start.
Order number 1, administration of oath. Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Honourable members, I wish to introduce to you two delegations from the parliaments of Zimbabwe and the National Assembly of the Gambia, seated at the Speaker's row. They are in the country on benchmarking visits. The delegation from the Parliament of Zimbabwe comprises of 5 members of Parliament and 2 members of staff, and they are as follows. The Honorable Sifo Mokone, MP, Chairperson. The Honorable Denford Masia, MP. The Honorable Albert Nguluve, MP. The Honorable Josiah Sitole, MP. And the Honorable Shakespeare Hamauswa, MP. They also include Ms. Maria Lacera, Committee Clerk, and Ms. Betty Mudwenyu, a Committee Researcher. The delegation from the membership of the Portfolio Committee on Information, Media. The delegation is drawn from the membership of the Portfolio Committee on Information, Media, and Broadcasting in their parliament, as in the country, to learn and share experiences on legislation and operationalization of community radio stations. Now, members, the second delegation from the Gambia is comprised of the 5 senior staff from the National Assembly as follows. 1, Momodu A. Sise, Clerk of the National Assembly. Mr. Daniel Kondos, Deputy Clerk, Legislative Business. Mrs. Isatou Kasama, Director, Research and Library. Mr. Gibairu Jane, Director, Communications. And Mr. Alagie Dumbuya, Director, Hansant. Members, the delegation is the country to learn the operations of the National Assembly of Kenya, including the management of funds as an independent and autonomous institution, as well as the mechanisms Parliament has put in place for engaging the National Treasury, among other areas. On my own behalf and that of the House, I wish to welcome the 2 delegations to the National Assembly and to wish them fruitful engagements during their stay in the country. I thank you. Next order.
Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions. Order number 5, papers.
Leader of the Majority Party.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the House. Today, Tuesday, November the 16th of 2021, afternoon sitting. 1, legal notice number 222 relating to public finance management, National Roads Toll Fund, regulations of 2021, and the explanatory memorandum from the National Treasury. Number 2, the biannual report for the period January to June 2021 from the Commission on Administrative Justice. Number 3, the Kenya Bankers Association Total Tax Contribution Report for the years 2019 and 2020. 4, the statutory 6 months preference and reservation report from the Public Procurement Regulatory Authority, PPRA. Number 5, the report of the Auditor General and financial statements on the Competition Authority of Kenya for the year ended 30th of June 2021 and the certificate therein. Number 6, the reports of the Auditor General and financial statements with respect to the following institutions for the year ended 30th of June 2020 and the certificates therein. The first one is the Kenya National Commission for UNESCO, the Cooperative University of Kenya, Kenya Revenue Authority, Revenue Accountability Statements, and the Kenya Revenue Authority. Number 7, the reports of the Auditor General for the financial statements in respect to the following institutions for the year ended 30th of June 2020 and the certificates therein, Maseno University and Dia Technical and Vocational College. And lastly, reports of the Auditor General and financial statements in respect to the following constituencies for the year ended 30th of June 2019 and the certificates therein, and the constituencies are Narok East, Marakwet East, Hamisi, Ugunja, Ugenya, and Sabatia. Thanks, Honorable Speaker.
Next one.
Order number 6, notices of motion. Order number 7, questions and statements.
I don't have any request for statements as per my list and the order paper. Therefore, we go to the only segment, the question statement. And the first question, ordinary question by the nominated member, the Honorable Anita Gatti.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to ask question number 451 of 2021, question directed to the Cabinet Secretary for Public Service, Gender, Senior Citizens Affairs, and Special Programs. Number 1, could the Cabinet Secretary explain the status of construction of the Nguruna Gender-Based Violence and Women's Center located in Nyabasi East Ward, Kuria East Constituency, Migori County? Number 2, could the Cabinet Secretary provide a breakdown of the total cost of construction of the said center, names of the contractors, and how much has been paid to the contractor to date? Number 3, when is the center expected to be completed? I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Well, that question will be replied to before the Departmental Committee on Labor and Social Welfare. Next question by the member for Marsabit County, the Honorable Safia Sheikh.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I raise to ask question number 459 of 2021 in today's order paper, and it is directed to the Cabinet Secretary for Education. Question number 1, what step is the ministry taking to ensure that children from pastoralist communities in arid and semi-arid land areas get equal access to education similar to the quality available in the rest of the country? Question number 2 is, what is the ministry doing to ensure that school dropout rates in ASAL areas are minimized and that the girls in these areas are shielded from discriminative learning opportunities that stem from cultural biasness and hinder their right to education? Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
That question will be replied to before the Departmental Committee on Education and Research. Third question by the member for Rongo, the Honorable Paul Abur.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to ask question number 464 of 2021. My question is directed to the Cabinet Secretary for Education. Could the Cabinet Secretary explain why casual workers at Rongo University are yet to be confirmed in appointment despite having worked in the institution for over 5 years, and further state the timelines within which they shall be confirmed in appointment? Number 2, could the Cabinet Secretary provide a detailed list of permanent employees of Rongo University and their sub-counties of origin, and further state the proportion of the local community engaged in the university? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The question will be replied to before the Departmental Committee on Education and Research. The next question is by the member for Lamu County, the Honorable Captain, retired Ruinda Obo.
Mr. Speaker, I'm not retired.
Okay, then you maybe they wanted to say you are tired.
I'm neither tired. Whenever I want to fly, I'll go and renew my license.
You are therefore neither retired nor tired.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Very well, very active pilot.
Active, representing my people. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to ask question 474/2021 to the Cabinet Secretary for Information, Communication and Technology, Innovation and Youth Affairs. 1, could the Cabinet Secretary explain measures that the ministry has put in place to improve mobile telephony network and coverage at CU, Kizingitini, Shanga areas in Lamu County to aid in service delivery and communication for the resident and other mobile users in the said area. 2, could the Cabinet Secretary further explain measures the ministry has put in place to upgrade the existing network to 4G in Lamu County and further provide timelines for this upgrade? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The question will be replied to before the Departmental Committee on Communication, Information and Innovation. The next question is by the member of Meru County, the Honorable Bishop Kawera Mwangaza.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. My question 475 of 2021 to the Cabinet Secretary for Public Service, Gender, Senior Citizen Affairs and Special Programs. 1, could the Cabinet Secretary state what measures the ministry is putting in place to ensure that the youth in Meru County access employment opportunities and are economically empowered? 2, could the Cabinet Secretary explain the measures put in place by the ministry to ensure seamless employment transitions in all government institutions to enable the youth to access and gain employment opportunities? Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
That question will be replied to before the Departmental Committee on Labor and Social Welfare. The next question is by the member for Oljoro Rock, the Honorable Michael Muchira.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to ask question number 479 of 2021 to the Cabinet Secretary for Energy. 1, could the Cabinet Secretary explain the delay in metering of over 25 projects undertaken by Rural Electrification and Renewable Energy Corporation, RELEC, and Transformer Densification Program in Orojorok constituency? And 2, within what time range shall the project be metered? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The question will be replied to before the Departmental Committee on Energy. The next question is by the member for Bungoma County, the Honorable Catherine Wabilianga.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I rise to ask question number 481 of 2021 to the Cabinet Secretary for Interior and Coordination of National Government. 1, could the Cabinet Secretary explain the status of investigations into the rape case and murder of one Miss Eunice Nandako Nasimiu of ID number 2358-2058, who was found dead in a neighbor's house on the 18th of October 2021 at Matili Village, South Kurisiru/Malakisi Ward? 2, how many suspects have been apprehended and questioned in connection with the rape and murder? And 3, could the Cabinet Secretary explain the measures put in place to address the spate of rapes and murders that have been on the rise in Bungoma County, more particularly in Malakisi/Risiru and Luandanyi wards? Thank you, sir.
The question will be replied to before the Departmental Committee on Administration and National Security. The next question is by the member for Kitui Rural, the Honorable Mwali Kamboni.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to ask question number 482 of 2021 to the Cabinet Secretary for Energy. 1, could the Cabinet Secretary state the measures put in place to repair or replace fault power transformers serving Zeve, Chamungi, Usenyo, Kanyangi, and Mosa primary schools, as well as Kilima, Kisayani, Kalulini, Kivuni, and Masoka markets? 2, when shall the ministry commission the electrification project in Muvida, Muviani, and Kamulu market centers and relocate the transformer made to serve Mufida borehole. 3, within which timelines shall the stalled electrification project in Kitui Rural Constituency that have been surveyed and approved be duly budgeted for and completed? 4, what is the updated status of last mile connectivity program in Kitui Rural Constituency? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The question will be replied to before the Departmental Committee on Energy. Honourable members, the next question is by the member for Chirangany, Honourable Joshua Kutuni, who has written to me requesting that the question be deferred on account of his inability to be in the House this afternoon. The request has been acceded to, and therefore the question is deferred for the next order.
Order number 8, report on implementation status on an inquiry into complaints of environmental pollution by London Distillers, Kenya Limited.
Sorry, honourable members, I'll interrupt that to allow the member for Kamukunji, the Honourable Hassan Yusuf, to raise an issue on a point of order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am raising a question relating to a statement that I requested from the Ministry of Interior and National Administration regarding the frequent fires in Kikomba. I requested that question on the 21st of October, and since then there has been another fire in Kikomba, and I'm yet to get an answer from the Ministry or from the Chair of the Departmental Committee dealing with national security. The second one is a question I raised regarding the disappearances of Hassan Dahir Osman, a constituent of mine who disappeared 3 months ago. Again, I'm yet to receive a response on that particular question from the committee. Thanks.
The chair of the committee, the Honourable Mwadi, is in the House. I saw him walking. Honourable Mwadi, what have you to say to the complaint?
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. And it's true, those who are placed before us as a committee, and they have since been transmitted. And I expect we are engaging the CS on Thursday, day after tomorrow, and I expect them to be responded to.
Is it possible that you can invite the Honourable Hassan to be present?
Yes, I want to believe he's been invited by the Secretariat, and if not, I take this opportunity to invite him at 10 o'clock.
Yes, Honourable Hassan, I believe it may be a lot easier if you could be available on Thursday. Yeah? Very well.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker.
There's nothing like that. You cannot just be shouting when you are seated in your place and claiming that even your question. Nobody, which question? Honourable Sankok, if you want to raise an issue, you intervene.
Honourable Speaker, I'm very sorry for that. I didn't know that Honourable Mwadi is here. But I had asked a question on the authenticity of the land that the CS had claimed that is owned by the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya in Laikipia. And this question, I've been invited twice, and I've traveled all the way from Narok to Nairobi, and it has been postponed twice. So, Honourable Speaker, I plead through your good leadership that if I'm invited, I should be invited for Thursday, and it should not be postponed again, because people are even, there is a lot of killing in Laikipia. So we need to sort out this issue once and for all, Honourable Speaker.
Did you understand the issue? He may not have said it correctly. I believe he wanted to say the authenticity. He said something similar to ethnicity. I suspect the Honourable Sankok intended to say authenticity.
I suspect too, Honourable Speaker, this authenticity, not ethnicity. But Honourable Speaker, I know we have so many issues arising, on Thursday. Actually, we are engaging from morning until around 1. But I would invite the member, Honorable Speaker. So just in case there are any issues that made them not bring the response, because I haven't seen it, then we can raise it. But it's very important because the CS himself is coming. If you can come so that we can engage further. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Very well.
Motion.
Now, you know, we are on order number 8. Honorable Mutinda Mule. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, on the same issue of questions asked. Mr. Speaker, as members, we are getting a bit frustrated when we ask questions and they are not being responded by the Ministry of Interior. Mr. Speaker, you know very well I asked a question of a boy who disappeared in Tala in the name of Abakar Muli, and you referred that question to the Committee of Internal Security chaired by Honorable Mwathi. Mr. Speaker, I appeared before the committee with the CAS, and she promised to give an answer within a week. Mr. Speaker, it is quite becoming of this ministry, because since that day, up to today, I've gone to the same committee to see whether they have responded, and Mr. Speaker, there is no response. The family is waiting for an answer for their lost one. The family is waiting for justice. The family is extremely traumatized because they cannot understand a question is put in the floor of the house to know the disappearance of a young man just like the boys in Embu. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to give out a very clear, stern warning to this ministry that they must respond to this committee. We cannot be harassing Honorable Mwathi, who is our colleague, to get answers when the answers are still sitting with the minister and the ministry itself. Mr. Speaker,
could you also avail yourself on Thursday, because now you said you have also started, you have given them a warning, so I'm wondering whether they need to respond. You know,
Mr. Speaker,
I know they have said in some quarters that this language did not travel by road to this country. But you say now you have given them a warning. Now, so now that you have given them a warning, do we need to go to discuss it any further?
Mr. Speaker, we are requesting your indulgence to the Ministry of Interior.
But you have given them a warning yourself.
Mr. Speaker, even if I give them a warning, it does not give justice to the parents of the lost ones. Mr. Speaker,
Honorable Mule, why don't you appear before the committee on Thursday also?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Because the Honorable Mwathi has already has been magnanimous enough to tell the House that the Cabinet Secretary himself will be present, so that you don't, when you go there, you'll now tell them those things. You'll tell him. Because now you're talking, even if you say it now and you're going to say it on Thursday, it's not helping any situation. Or you just want to get some bonga points.
Mr. Speaker, I've been elected 3 times in this house, so I'm not looking for bonga points. I'm looking for the justice of the young man.
Even then, you still needed the bonga points. so I think the best thing, Honorable Mule, is to go and raise the issue on Thursday when the Cabinet Secretary will be present.
Yes.
Then, because you will be able then to debate it better.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yeah. Honourable members, debate on the motion appearing as order number 8 in today's order paper was concluded, and what remained is for the question to be put, and I proceed to do so. That this House adopts a report of the Select Committee on Implementation on its consideration of the implementation status of the report of the Departmental Committee on Environment and Natural Resources on an inquiry into the complaints of environmental pollution by London Distillers Kenya Limited, laid on the table of the House on Thursday, September 30th, 2021. Will as many as that opinion say aye? As many as contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Order number 9, motion, report of the Committee of the Whole House on the Waqf Bill, National Assembly Bill number 73 of 2019.
Can you be in the house, please, Honorable Atandi? And when you're in the house, please don't. The way I saw you banging your colleague on his behind is not very healthy. Don't bang him on the behind. Honourable members, this is the question that this House do agree with the report of the Committee of the Whole House on its consideration of the Waqf Bill, National Assembly Bill number 73 of 2019, and seeks leave to sit again today. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Honourable members.
On the number 10.
Okay. Order number 12, Committee of the Whole House.
Order. Honorable members, we are in Committee of the Whole House to consider the Waqf Bill, National Assembly Bill number 73 of 2019. Honorable members, yes, four. Honorable members, this bill had been considered up to clause 4.1e. Yes? D. Had been considered up to 4.1d. We shall commence from clause 4.1e.
Clause 4, subclause clause 4.1e.
I propose that clause 4.1e be part of the bill. There is a proposed amendment by the Honorable Millie, whom I don't seem to see today. The Honorable Millie, for the second time, that proposed amendment then stands dropped.
Clause 4, subclause 1e.
I propose that clause 4, subclause 1e be part of the bill. There is a an amendment, a proposed amendment by the same Honorable Millie. Second time, the Honorable Millie Odhiambo. That proposed amendment then stands dropped. Next.
Clause 4, subclause 1F.
I propose the question that clause 4, subclause 1F be part of the bill.
Amendment by Millie.
There is a proposed amendment by the same Honorable Millie. The Honorable Millie Odhiambo. That clause therefore stands dropped. Next. I think you just. Honorable members, I direct that all the amendments that have been proposed by the Honorable Millie to this subclause 4 stand dropped, and I direct that we move on to the amendments that had been proposed by the committee. So we will move on to the proposals that had been made by the committee. We had to start with the proposal that had been made by the Honorable Millie because she was proposing to delete the proposals by the committee. That is why we had to start with the one by the Honorable Millie. So we shall now move on to the proposals by the committee in regard to clause 4.
Yeah, Chair.
The chair. Honorable members, let me just re-engineer the seating arrangement here so that we can work efficiently, just for a minute or two. Honorable members, we are ready now to go on with this committee of the whole House. On the same clause 4, there are proposals for amendment by the Honorable Duale. So we shall proceed to the proposals by the Honorable Duale. And the Honorable Duale does not seem to be in the House also. So I direct that those, he's here. The Honorable Duale? The Honorable Duale is not in the House, Honorable members. This is a House of Honorable members. If the member is not in the House, he's not in the House. So those amendments by the Honorable Duale stand dropped. I direct that we move to the next one, on the same by the Honorable Abdul Swamad, member from Vita. The Honorable Abdul Swamad is not in the House. Those amendments by the Honorable Abdul Swamad stand dropped. What is out of order, the Honorable Amalu?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm standing on a point of order to request for your direction, because we've looked at the amendments of the respective members, and indeed they are for purposes of value addition. And now that they're absent, he has come. Because I've looked at Duale's amendment, I just wanted to know whether they were informed, or is there any reason they had given? Because if it's substantial, yeah, it might be in the order paper, but they have not seen. What time was this order paper? I've just gotten it right now. So if it's been done, then it's okay. I stand guided, Chairman.
Very well. We shall make progress. So, what is next?
Clause 5.
I propose the question that clause 5 be part of the bill. Honorable Duale, your proposals had already been dropped, unfortunately. The Honorable Duale, we had directed that your proposal be dropped, but I think to be fair, now that we are here, and we had not yet moved to the next clause, I will allow you to move your amendments. The Honorable Duale, we will consider your amendments.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and our senior panel of the Speaker. Thank you very much. I was rushing, and I think the leader of majority. So, Chair, I beg to move that clause 4 be amended as provided in the order paper, and it's a small amendment instead of practice. Practice is anything. So I just say we substitute practice with the word law, because we are dealing with both the legislative law here and the Islamic law, which this Waqf is based on. I beg to move.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 4 be amended as proposed by the Honorable Duale. Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 4 be amended as proposed by the Honorable Duale. Will as members of that opinion say aye? Will as members of our contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the global question that clause 4, as amended, be part of the bill. Will as members of that opinion say aye? Will as members of our contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 5.
I propose the question that clause 5 be part of the bill. There is no amendment to this. I now put the question that clause 5 be part of the bill. Will as members of that opinion say aye? Will as members of our contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 6.
I propose the question that clause 6 be part of the bill. There is an amendment by the chair. The Honorable Muturi Kigan.
Is that 5 or 6? Yes. Yes, Mr. Chair, we propose to introduce public trustee, deleting the Attorney General and substituting the public trustee for Roman 1 and the Roman 2. We wish to introduce that the word president be deleted and substitute therefore the word attorney general. These were amendments proposed by the public trustee. As the norm now, the attorney general now becomes the the Attorney General replaces now the CS, right, as normal in the other government structure. And the President now, the Attorney General now becomes the appointing authority, just like any other Cabinet Secretary. That is for clauses 6, A1, Roman 1, and 2. So paragraph A is also through the submissions by the public trustee. So B and C and B and C will be deleted. As per the order paper. Yes. And then D, in paragraph E, by deleting the word for and substituting therefore the word 6. And then Roman 2, by inserting the following new subclauses, subparagraphs immediately after subparagraph 4, Roman 4. The new ones shall be Roman 5, finance and investment, Roman 6, architecture, and Roman 7, administration.
Expanding the scope of knowledge.
Yes, that is for the enlargement of the scope of knowledge. Yes, that is the justification.
I propose the question that clause 6 be amended as proposed by the chair. I see interest from the Honorable Shabir, member for Kisumu East.
Chair, the interest is there, but it wasn't for this particular clause.
Very well. Very well. The Honorable Dwale?
Chair, just to give the comfort, I support the amendments of the chair. Number one, the Attorney General by law is in charge of trustees. And that's why we are bringing in as a member of the Waqf Commission. Secondly, just like the way cabinet secretaries appoint a board, then it is the Attorney General who will take the lead in appointing. So I think that is something which we didn't see in the original bill, and the people who made their submission agreed with the committee, so I support.
The Honorable Wahungu Wamalwa.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This amendment is simplistic and purely for purposes of the normal practice. So it's just trying to harmonize. So I do support Mr. Chairman.
The Honorable Koske, a member for Chepalungu. Very well. Honorable members, now I then propose the question that clause 6. Honorable members, I'll have a retake on that. I now put the question that clause 6 be amended as proposed by the chair. Will as members of that opinion say aye? Will as members of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the global question that clause 6 as amended be part of the bill. Will as members of that opinion say aye? Will as members of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 7.
I propose the question that clause 7 be part of the bill. Chair?
There's an amendment by the chair.
Chair, you have a proposal to amend this?
The amendments sought are as per order paper, and I wish to move that clause 7 be amended as provided for in the order paper. The reasons are that these proposals came from the public trustee, and yes, just changing president and attorney general to CS as a CS, and the president becomes attorney general, and then again is inserting one's knowledgeable in the Sharia law. These are very formal small amendments. They don't change the weight of the subject matter, and then we will introduce clauses A, B, A, C, right? And no state officer shall be appointed as a member of that is the norm. Okay. Then this submission, these were also the submissions reinforced by the WAF, the existing WAF Commission. Thank you.
I propose the question that clause 7 be amended as proposed by the chair. I now put the question that clause 7 be amended as proposed by the chair. Will as members of that opinion say aye? Will as members of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 8.
I propose the question that clause 8 be part of the bill. Chair, you have a proposal here?
The same, again, as per the... The clause 8 be amended as vide the order paper. Justification is amendments increase the functions of the commission to include training of trustees and creating awareness on the existence of the and the functions of the WAF.
I propose the question that clause 8 be amended as proposed by the chair. I now put the question that clause 8 be amended as proposed by the chair. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of our contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. The Honorable Dwale, what?
Chair, I thought clause 8
Yes.
was one of the clauses that the speaker ruled on the matter of Hajj. Yeah. Clause 8. No, just relax. No, the committee was amending clause 8 by inserting new paragraphs immediately after paragraph H. And if you go to HD, there was GA after paragraph G. There's GA, there's GB, there's GC, there's, let me finish. So, okay, so the new order paper has removed. Chair, I'm very sorry. Today's I had the old order paper.
No,
Today's order paper.
I
am very sorry because I had to be very particular to make sure that I am safe.
No, you're absolutely
Thank you, Chair.
right. But what was dropped was by the Honorable Abdul Samad. So let's make progress.
Propose the global question. Put the question now.
Yes, honorable members, let us finish that business. We are now putting the global question that clause 8 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of our contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Thank you.
Clause 9.
I propose the question that clause 9 be part of the bill. Chair, there is a proposal by you.
Yes, I hope Honorable Dwale would not be over enthusiastic. Just like usual. 9 again, Mr. Chair, is I would like to move as provided per order paper, and this is another very formal small amendment that the commissioners serve on a part-time basis. This is submission by the WAF, the existing WAF commission itself. This will clarify that members shall serve on part-time basis.
I propose the question that clause 9 be amended as proposed by the chair. And chair, the Honorable Dwale, being interested in this is a good thing. I think the House should be a little more enthusiastic in the matters that we deal with here.
Yeah.
So we cannot blame the Honorable Dwale for being enthusiastic. We encourage him to be even more so. I see interest here from the Honorable Raso Ali, member for Saku.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. I think the chairman said this is just a small amendment. I think it's much bigger than that. The idea of having part-time commissioners, it is going to save on this trust. And at the same time, we want work to be actually a voluntary philanthropic thing more than a working place. So I think it's a good amendment. Thank you, Chair.
The Honorable Dwale.
Chair, this is the whole concept of work is religiosity. So it is not a place to look for employment. It's a place that you serve and you'll be paid in the hereafter. So I agree with the chair.
The Honorable Noor Sophia, member for Ijara.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I agree. The whole concept is on voluntary, is something you give, expecting that in the hereafter you'll get the reward in the hereafter. So it is on voluntary basis, and we appreciate the chairman, the amendments on that. Thank you.
Honorable members, allow me then to put the question, propose the question. Honorable members, just a written on that. I put the question that clause 9 be amended as proposed by the chair. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of our contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. And now put the global question that clause 9 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of our contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 10.
I propose the question that clause 10 be part of the bill. There is no amendment to this, honorable members, and now put the question that clause 10 be part of the bill. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of a contrary opinion say nay? Ayes have it.
Clause 11.
I propose the question that clause 11 be part of the bill. There is a proposal here by the chair.
We wish to amend this clause as provided for, clause 11 as provided for in the order paper, and this is just inserting the ones that the Director General shall be drawn from a reputable private institution at the end of the paragraph by inserting a new clause immediately thereafter. The Director General shall be the Secretary of the Commission. That's all. This proposal emanated from Jamia Mosque.
I propose the question that clause 11 be amended as proposed by the chair. The Honorable Chris Wamalwa.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I do support, and in most cases, ordinarily the Director Generals are normally secretaries of the Commission. So it's just to harmonize with the practice. Thank you. I do support.
I now put the question that clause 11 be amended as proposed by the chair. Will as many as that opinion say aye? Will as many as our contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. And now put the global question that clause 11 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as our contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 12.
I propose the question that clause 12 be part of the bill. There was a proposal by the Honorable Millie which stands dropped. I therefore then put the question that clause 12 be part of the bill. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of our contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 13.
I propose the question that clause 13 be part of the bill. There was a proposal by the Honorable Millie Odhiambo which stands dropped. I therefore now put the question that clause 13 be part of the bill. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of our contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 14.
I propose the question that clause 14 be part of the bill. There was a proposal by the Honorable Millie here too, and it stands dropped. I therefore now put the question that clause 14 be part of the bill. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of our contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 15.
I propose the question that clause 15 be part of the bill. There is a proposal by the Honorable Millie here. There are three proposals, one by the Honorable Millie, and the one by the Honorable Abdul Swamad. The one by the Honorable Millie stands dropped, the Honorable Abdul Swamad stands dropped, and the one by the chair can be prosecuted. Proceed, Chair.
This is as provided.
Just hold on, Chair. The Honorable Dwale.
Chair.
Yes.
Chair, I want your guidance. There were about 2 amendments which I was doing further amendment to Honorable Millie. now that I've never seen this, I mean, you need to guide me. Now that she is not around, so what happens when you say her amendment has been dropped and I'm supposed to do a further amendment on what you are dropping?
Now, the honorable Dwale, that is the misfortune of without casting aspersions and as a figure of speaking, is what happens to the rats in the ship. When the ship sinks, the rats also sink with it. So your further amendment has got no ship to ride. It dies with the ship. So we'll proceed. Don't worry. The Honorable Chair, proceed.
This again is provided for by the order paper, And we only introduce the ones, the phrase, or a beneficiary or any person who has an interest in the WAF. That is in subclause 1B, Roman 2, and and another one in subclause 3, by inserting a beneficiary or any person who has an interest in the WAF immediately after the ones trustees of WAF. This proposal emanated from the public trustee himself, and we accept it in the committee.
I propose the question that clause 15 be amended as proposed by the chair. I see interest from the Honorable Ahmed Shabir, member for Kisumu East.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, sir. And my only concern on that particular one was item subclause 6, which says the Attorney General may make regulations. There was a suggestion that the Attorney General shall make regulations. I think this is what we call simple English. When it says may, it leaves that Attorney General with the
Honorable Shabir.
Yes.
The Honorable Shabir.
Yes.
Which one are you speaking to? We are on 15.
15, subclause 6.
You are looking at the bill itself.
I'm looking at the bill itself.
Yes. There is a proposed amendment by the chair, and his proposals are in regard to B and C. The Honorable Dwale.
Chair, number one, we are dealing with the amendment by the chair in subclause 1B and I think 3. What the chair is, and I support, is that in the event a beneficiary or anybody else who has an interest in that particular waqf, he can ask for an inquiry. You know, there are people who will mess up this noble idea. So the chair is at a very, very good amendment that the beneficiary or anybody else within that who have an interest in that particular waqf can raise and ask for an inquiry to be conducted in order or initiate an inquiry on the operation of the waqf. So Honorable Shakil, what is in the bill you are reading, clause 6, the chair is not amending, nobody is amending. And if you had an issue, you should have come with an amendment. But it's good he has raised it.
Honorable members, allow me then to put the question that clause 15 be amended as proposed by the chair. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. And now put the global question that clause 15, as amended, be part of the bill. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 16.
I propose the question that clause 16 be part of the bill. There was a proposal by the Honorable Millie Odhiambo, which stands dropped. I therefore now put... Yes, there is a further amendment. There's another amendment by the chair. So, Chair, you can proceed with yours. The one by the Honorable Millie stands dropped.
Mr. Chair, we propose amendment as provided for in the order paper in subclause 2 of 16 by deleting the ones 20,000 and substituting therefore the ones 2 million. This emanated from public trustee, and the justification thereof is that the assets of a WAF in Kenya is approximately 9 billion shillings. Therefore, a penalty of 20,000 for not producing documents by a trustee is very low and not commensurate to the base. So there is need to enhance this penalty to 2 million.
I propose the question that clause 16 be amended as proposed by the chair. The Honorable Dwale?
Chair, I think I support this amendment because, you know, we need men and women of integrity. At 20,000, then busybodies can come and squander this money and take off. So they must see that if you don't keep the right books, if you don't keep the right documentation, then the fine will be 2 million. So this is a very, very good amendment. I support the chair.
The Honorable Russell Saku, member for Saku.
Thank you, Chair. I think this is a safeguard and also a deterrence, because this is money that can easily be stolen. But once we put the threshold that high enough, then it puts in place measures that these funds are safeguarded. Thank you.
I put the question that clause 16 be amended as proposed by the chair. Will as many as that opinion say aye? Will as many as for contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. And now put the global question that clause 16 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as that opinion say aye? Will as many as for contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 17.
I propose the question that clause 17 be part of the bill. There is an amendment by the chair.
To amend clause 17 as provided for in the order paper by deleting in subclause 1 by deleting the word sell and by inserting, and then B by inserting a new clause 1A. A person who intends to sell immovable half property shall make an application to the Environment and Land Court, and the Environment Court may allow the application or issue any other order it deems appropriate. And C, introduce C in subclause 2 by deleting the one subsection 1 and substituting therefore words this action. This emanated from public trustee, and the justification is that the disposal of immovable property in WAF is a serious issue and should not be left to the discretion of the commission itself. And therefore, the Environment Court is a check to ensure that the sale is appropriate and that it is a clean exercise. Thank you.
I propose the question that clause 17 be amended as proposed by the chair. The first interest is by the Honorable Sankok.
Honorable Chair, I think the chair have explained very well that we need really to protect these assets of WAF so that we don't just have the commission selling the way they think. You know, sometimes the commissioners can decide among themselves that we can sell and divide the money among ourselves. So we are just putting checks and balance to make sure that it is protected. Thank you, Chair.
The Honorable Dwale. The Honorable Mbogo Menza, member for Kisauni.
Thank you, Chair. I support the proposed amendment by the Chair. I think we heard that the worth of the assets that we have with Wakfu is around 9 billion. So whatever is being proposed, it will act as a safeguard to ensure that there is another level that can be able to cross-check before a disposal is done. I support.
I now put the question that clause 17 be amended as proposed by the chair. Will as many as that opinion say aye? Will as many as the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. And now put the global question that clause 17 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as that opinion say aye? Will as many as the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clauses 18, 19, and 20.
I propose the question that clauses 18, 19, and 20 be part of the bill. There are no amendments to these honorable members. I therefore put the question that clauses 18, 19, and 20 be part of the bill. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 21.
I propose the question that clause 21 be part of the bill. There is a proposal by the chair and one by the Honorable Millie. The chairs will be prosecuted. The chair proceed.
Mr. Chairman, we propose to delete this clause as provided for in the order paper, and the justification is that a WAF is an endowment of property or cash by a WAF in his or her lifetime, and claimed assets of deceased persons held by public trustees should be universally applicable in national laws, and no preference treatment should arise on unclaimed property of Muslims. This is right. This is in light of the fact that the deceased did not express his or her desire to donate her property as a charitable for charitable purposes during his or her lifetime. Thank you.
I propose the question that clause 21 be deleted as proposed by the chair. I now put the question that clause 21 be deleted as proposed by the chair. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 22.
I propose the question that clause 22 be part of the bill. There's no amendment to this, honorable members. I therefore put the question that clause 22 be part of the bill. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 23.
What is out of order, the Honorable Dwale?
Chair, let me go on record because Honorable Millie is calling me, and you know, as a ranking member, there's nothing I can do. She's telling me to go slow. So can I go on record that at least I have made the request to you that that she's in a traffic? No, I just want, as a decent leader, you know, I want to go on record that she's contrary to the standing orders.
The Honorable Dwale, you know very well you're out of order. The Honorable Dwale, you're out of order. I propose the question that clause 23 be part of the bill. There is an amendment by the chair. Chair, proceed.
Yes. Mr. Chair, we propose to delete this as provided for in the order paper, and the justification thereof is is not business-like to have this limit, and so it should be deleted. Limit, you cannot. Yes. Yes.
I now put the question that clause 23 be amended as proposed by the chair. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the global question that clause 23 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clauses 24, 25, and 26.
I propose the question that clauses 24, 25, and 26 be part of the bill. There are no amendments to this. I therefore put the question that clauses 24, 25, and 26 be part of the bill. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? Ayes have it.
Clause 27.
I propose the question that clause 27 be part of the bill. The Honorable Millie had done a proposal here. It stands dropped. And therefore now put the question that clause 27 be part of the bill. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 28.
I propose the question that clause 28 be part of the bill. There's no amendment to this. I therefore put the question that clause 28 be part of the bill. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 29.
I propose the question that clause 29 be part of the bill. There is a proposal by the Honorable Millie, who is not in the House, and it stands dropped. I therefore now put the question that clause 29 be part of the bill. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of our contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 30 and 31.
I propose the question that clauses 30 and 31 be part of the bill. There are no amendments to this. I therefore put the question that clauses 30 and 31 be part of the bill. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of our contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
New clause 5A. There is a new clause by Abdul Samad.
Honorable members, there is a proposal for a new clause 5A by the Honorable Abdul Samad Nasir. The Honorable Dwale, I'll give you a chance to say.
Chair,
on a
I'm
point of
holding
order.
brief for Honorable Abdul Samad, and he asked me that he goes on record that he has dropped that amendment.
Very well. So it stands dropped. The new proposal by the Honorable Abdul Samad stands dropped.
New clause 12A.
There is a proposal for a new clause 12A by the Honorable Millie Odhiambo. The Honorable Millie Odhiambo is not in the House, and that stands dropped.
New clause 12B.
There is a proposal for a new clause 12B by the Honorable Millie Odhiambo, who unfortunately, for some reason, is not able to be in this House today. She's usually a very key, very active member. There must be good reason. I'm sure there is. But the rules tie us, and therefore, honorable members, it just has to fail. It stands dropped. The Honorable Shabir, what is out of order?
It's not out of order. May I seek your advice, please? On clause number 27, which you've just said is passed, on this order paper, I see that the bill to be amended by following new clauses. Are you coming to that?
Yes, we are. That is ahead of us. We are coming to that.
Thank you.
Yes.
New clause 12C.
There is a proposal to amend, to have a new clause 12C by the Honorable Millie Odhiambo, which suffers the same fate. It stands dropped. There is one by the Honorable Dwale which we shall prosecute. The Honorable Dwale, you have the floor.
Chair, I beg to move that new clause 12C be moved for the second reading as per the order paper. And Chair, I think the only new thing I'm introducing there is any other sufficient reasons permitted by the Islamic law. And 2, despite subsection 1, a trustee may be removed from office by a waqf fee if the right to remove the trustee is reserved in the waqf deed. I beg to move.
Yes. Honorable members, I now propose the question that new clause 12C be now read a second time. I now put the question that new clause 12C be now read a second time. Will as members of that opinion say aye? Will as members of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Honorable members, I now then propose the question that new clause 12C be part of the bill. I see that members are comfortable with that. I now put the question that new clause 12C be part of the bill. Will as members of that opinion say aye? Will as members of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
New clause 27A.
Yes, there is a proposal by the chair. Chair, proceed.
Mr.
To
Chairman,
second reading.
I beg to move that 27A, new sections 27A, 27B, and 27C be read second time.
Chair, I advise that you prosecute them one after the other. You start with A,
yes.
Then you shall move to B and C. So just deal with A first.
Thank you. I seek your advice. Now, I move that this 27A, the bill be amended by introducing section 27A, right? But be amended by
you are in order, proceed.
New 27A. It says a beneficiary of a WAF shall at all reasonable times be entitled to information about the WAF, including the
Senior,
inspection.
the honorable Muturi, my senior.
Yes.
You need to say you are moving to second reading. Those words need to go on record. I beg to move that.
Well,
new.
Yes. I had introduced the omnibus, but
yes.
I'm comfortable with your advice. Then
yes.
Let me introduce it again.
Yes.
That I beg to move this amendment that clause 27A, new, clause 27, section. New clause 27A. Is a section. Yes. All right.
No, it's not yet a section, it is a clause.
I said collected that new clause 27A be introduced and inserted and be read a second time. The reason for this is, in fact, is reinforcing the right to information as provided for in the Constitution.
I propose the question that new clause 27A be now read a second time. I see interest from the Honorable Sankok. The Honorable Millie, you have just walked in. You are just take a seat and you will have an opportunity to say something. The Honorable Sankok.
Honorable Chair, with others in this chamber, we do support because information is power. So put the question.
Honorable members, I now put the question that new clause 27A be now read a second time. Will as members of that opinion say aye? Will as members of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that I propose, yes, we are now moving to third reading. I now propose the question that new clause 27A be part of the bill. I now put the question that new clause 27A be part of the bill. Will as members of that opinion say aye? Will as members of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
New clause 27B.
Chair?
I propose, I beg to move that a new clause 27B be read second time. As per the order paper, and the justification here for 27B is that WAFs are made under Islamic law and and the Qadi court should be the first point of reference in any concerning any dispute. If the Qadi courts are unable to resolve the same, the disputes can be escalated to other courts or tribunals within the Kenyan laws.
I propose the question that new clause 27B be now read a second time. And now put the question that new clause 27B be now read a second time. Will as members of that opinion say aye? Will as members of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. The Honorable Millie Odhiambo, what is out of order? The Honorable Millie, use the mic to your left.
Majority Leader, we usually go on very well without your presence. You usually come here with very bad attitude. Chair, can you kindly listen to me?
The Honorable Millie, the Honorable Sankok, resume your seat. The Honorable Millie, proceed.
Thank you. Chair, I just want to say, first of all, apologize for coming late. I lost my uncle, Absalom Obilo Opio, who comes immediately after my father. So I've just come in, and I just want to say that I'm disappointed. Honorable Dwale knows how we normally operate. If you know that there's a member who has moved amendments, and you can't see them in the House, out of courtesy, you just ask. There's no reason for the House to rush to sit so that you can pass without me. There's no big deal about whether the issues are passed or not. They are merely strengthening the bill. Some of them are actually issues that somebody could later challenge as unconstitutional. But having said that, perchance, any of my amendments may be pending. I withdraw all of them, and I do not wish to do any recommittals. I thank you, Mr. Chair.
Very well, the Honorable Millie. For just your information, the Honorable Millie, the Honorable Duale informed this House that you had spoken to him, and you know the rules of the House, Honorable Millie. As much as we sympathize with the loss of your uncle, of course, whom you know, you must have loved very much, but this House could not stand waiting. The Honorable Millie, what you've done is quite in order, and thank you. We shall proceed. What is out of order, the Honorable Sankok?
Honorable Speaker, Honorable Chair, Honorable Millie Odhiambo must withdraw because she said that we normally do well in this House with the absence of the majority leader, which is not true, Honorable Speaker. She must withdraw, apologize, and expunge from the Hansard because it is not true.
The Honorable Sankok, there's nothing out of order about that. Because sometimes some of us, from time to time, there will be members who are not in the House. And the House goes on. The House has proceeded without the Honorable Millie today. Sometimes it proceeds without the Honorable Leader of Majority being here. So members from time to time will miss for good reason. Like the good reason the Honorable Millie has just said, kept her away from the House today. But that does not mean that the House will not proceed with its business. So the Honorable Millie was not out of order to say that sometimes the Leader of Majority is not in his place. She is correct. So we shall proceed, Honorable Members. Honorable Members, allow me then to put the question, to propose the question that new clause 27B be part of the bill. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many of that opinion say nay? The ayes have it. And now put the global question that new clause 27B be part of the bill. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many of that opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
New clause 27C.
Chair, you have a proposal to this? New
Yes.
clause 27C.
I wish to move that the new clause 27C be read a second time. Is provided for in the order paper that the income shall not be subject to tax, but the justification thereof, this is, WAF is charitable in nature, and the employees of the WAF Commission are not exempt from taxation. It's only the WAF itself that is charitable in nature and not subject. Like any other charity is not subject. It's clear. Mr. Chair, I am being disturbed by the deputy leader of... I have, normally I don't like to disrespect this ranking member, but I was doing some consultation today with the leader of majority. No, he is disrupting
The Honorable Senior, just proceed. Don't worry about the...
Yes. So
don't worry about the Honorable Gwenye.
That is a justification that, again, if I repeat because I was being distracted, that the WAF is charitable in nature, so is being exempt from income tax, but the employees of the WAF Commission will still be subject to tax. Thank you.
I now propose the question that new clause 27C be read a second time. The Honorable Russell.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I support that very noble amendment. There could be a push when we are told that the work is about 9 billion. With this bill becoming the law of the land, it could rise to even 20 billion. So the taxman might just look at it and say, hey, we can collect a few shillings from here. I think by enacting this law, then it becomes a safeguard so that this charity is not destroyed through taxation. Thank you, Chair.
The Honorable Dwale.
Chair, I support the chairman, and I think what he has done is just based on all charitable institutions in our country, regardless of their origin and status, so that the income of the Waqf be not subjected to taxation, but the employees and the workers of the commission pay their taxes just like any other ordinary Kenyan. I support and thank the chair.
The Honorable Sankoch.
I do support the chair and honorable chair. It is very important to safeguard this charitable institution. And in the past, we have seen even the taxman, and I hear now he's even snooping into our Facebooks and social media. He have been taxing wheelchairs donated to persons with disabilities. So I think they should actually know that some of these donors are not ready to pay taxes because they have just donated. So this one is a very important amendment, and the House will support. Thank you.
The Honorable Majimbo Kalasinga, member for Kapchai.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chairman, I also seriously agree with that because sometimes when we tax some of these charitable organizations, Mr. Speaker, they don't intend a purpose, because the purpose is to rise some class upward and also balance those who cannot manage to earn some living, Mr. Chairman. So, Chairman, I support that.
The Honorable Shabir, member for Kisumu East.
Chair, I want to advise that the taxation in respect of trusts is different from the taxation that is of other investment accounts. Trust beneficiaries, according to the Tax Act, and I'm a professional in this, must pay tax on income other than distribution that they receive from the trust, but not on the principal. So, Mr. Chair, this particular amendment flies in the face of the taxation principle, tenant, and will be not only be disputed, that the taxman will be able to say and demand tax on income of the trust that does not relate to the principal or to the maintenance of that principal. So, Mr. Chair, I think this particular amendment is out of place and should not be approved. Thank you. Because it goes against the face of KRA and the whole tenets of taxation as it is, and you cannot have, just by passing this particular clause, amend the whole Taxation Act. If you need to do that, you need to go to the Taxation Act in respect of this particular interest and this particular trust, because all trusts, whether they are Waqf trust or any other trusts, must pay income tax on interest earned, but not for the maintenance of the principal amount, and not in respect of the principal. So as much as I would like it not to be taxed from Waqf, it has already been, all other trusts are being taxed in that manner, and this particular amendment will be contrary to that and will not be effective. So I would suggest you drop this.
I put the question that new clause 27C be now read a second time. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I propose the question that new clause 27C be part of the bill. And now put the question that new clause 27C be part of the bill. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 2.
I propose the question that clause 2 be part of the bill. There is a proposal to amend by the Honorable Dwale.
Chair, I beg to move that clause 2 be amended as per the order paper. And Chair, I'm only trying to define zakat, or the giving of alms giving, as a pillar of Islam, properly in accordance with Islam. And I, Chair, through your permission, I want to do a further amendment because I think there was a topographical error. And I move that zakat means payment made annually under Islamic law on certain kinds of property and use of charitable and religious, for charitable and religious purpose, as the third pillar of Islam, not the second pillar. Because, Mr. Speaker, the first pillar is declaration of faith, the second pillar is prayer, the third pillar is zakat.
The Honorable Dwale.
Yes.
I think there was a mistake that was made in the typing.
Yes.
So you may move in an amended form. So that
Okay,
it is
Chair,
third
thank
bill.
you.
Yes.
Chair, I beg to move that clause 2 be amended in an amended form, and the whole concept, as per the order, and the whole concept is just to give the definition of one of the pillars of Islam, which is the zakat, by saying that it's a religious purpose and as a third pillar of Islam.
Very well.
Yes, just from, because in amended from second to third, the third pillar.
Let me now propose that that clause 2 be amended as proposed by the Honorable Dwale. The Honorable Millie, you have something to say to this?
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I do apologize again under the circumstances that I came without my card. I think just out of courtesy, you would have said that it was my amendment that you adopted. Otherwise, I support.
Very well. The Honorable Russell. The Honorable Dwale, you want to go before the Honorable Russell? Okay, proceed. Honorable.
Chair, out of decency and courtesy, yes, a lot of amendments of Honorable Millie we discussed, and this was an amendment. In fact, mine was just the further amendment.
Very well.
Thank
you. That is good. The Honorable Russell.
Thank you very much, Chair. I also wish to add my word that Honorable Millie really contributed to this bill. Chairman, I think that amendment is very important because among what can be paid into that charity is zakat. And it missing from the bill actually was a serious omission, and I beg to support.
Honorable members, allow me then to put the question that clause 2 be amended as proposed by the Honorable Dwale. Will as many as that opinion say aye? Will as many as that opinion say nay? The ayes have it. And now put the global question that clause 2, as amended, be part of the bill. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many as that opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Title.
I propose that the title be the title of the bill. There's no amendment to this. I therefore put the question that the title be the title of the bill. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of that opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 1.
I propose that clause 1 be part of the bill. There's no amendment to this. I therefore put the question that clause 1 be part of the bill. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of the opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Honorable members, we've completed that. I now call the mover to move. Reporting.
Honorable Chairperson, I beg to move that the committee do report to the House its consideration of the Waqf Bill, National Assembly Bill number 73 of 2019, and its approval thereof with amendments.
I now put the question, which is that the committee do report to the House its consideration of the Waqf Bill, National Assembly Bill number 73 of 2019, and its approval thereof with amendments. Will as many as that opinion say aye? Will as many as the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. The Honorable Dwale, you'll assist us here, chairperson for reporting.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to report that the Committee of the Whole House has considered the Waqf Bill, National Assembly Bill number 73 of 2019, and approved the same with amendments.
The mover?
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the House do agree with the committee in the said report, and I also request the Honorable Millie Odhiambo to second the motion for agreement with the report of the committee of the whole House.
The Honorable Leader, the Honorable Millie is not in the mood today to assist you.
We appreciate the circumstances she's going through. I therefore wish to ask the Honorable Dwale to second.
I second.
Honorable members, I now propose the question, which is that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. Honorable members, I direct that the next necessary steps in regard to this particular business be undertaken when the matter will be set down on the order paper again for consideration by the House. I direct that we move to the next order on the order paper.
Order number 11, the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 1 of 2020, second reading.
Honorable members, debate on this business was interrupted on Tuesday, November 9th, 2021. Yes, we had contributions from 11 members. The Honorable Kioni, the Honorable Kaluma, the Honorable Ongera, the Honorable Sankok, the Honorable Obara, the Honorable Awero Kiarie, the Honorable Adagala, the Honorable Shakil, the Honorable Cecil Mbarire, the Honorable Aseka, the Honorable Fatuma Gedi, and the Honorable Nyikal, who had a balance of 3 minutes. And I see him in the House, and he may proceed to use up his 3 minutes. The Honorable Millie, what is out of order? The Honorable Nyikal, just hold on.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I think I'd indicated to you this earlier, but I seek the indulgence of the House that I'd like to speak to this bill, but I do not have a card. So if you could just be kind as to consider that, because I will not be appearing in your screen. Thank you.
Very well. The Honorable Nyikal, proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The last time I rose, actually, and I did not support this bill. And Mr. Speaker, the issue is that this commission actually was a lot of cabinet work. I think Honorable Kumunya was actually heading the team that worked out to split the Human Rights Commission into 3 commissions: the Gender Commission, the Human Rights Commission, and the Office of Ombudsman. And it was felt at the time that this was to raise to bring to the fore the issues of gender. Many people tend to think that when we are talking about gender, we are talking about women. But there are many issues now that are affecting men that have to do with gender. If you look at the issue of the boy child, we have a problem we need to arrest. If you look at the femicide, the number of men that are killing women, these are gender issues but related to men. And further, Mr. Speaker, after devolution, in my view, the gender agenda actually lost a bit of time. At that time, we had another commission which was actually linked to the ministry, which had officers, gender officers, all the way to the ground. So it was very easy to mobilize women to raise issues of gender. Now, after devolution, now gender is now in the Ministry of Devolution. It does not have officers that directly deal with it at the sub-county level. So if you now go to the sub-county level at the constituency, you want to deal with issues of gender, particularly if it is dealing with women, you find that actually much is not being done. Therefore, killing this commission now, which actually is what the bill intends to do, would actually draw us back on the gains we have made on the gender issues. Therefore, I think that if there's a feeling that it has not worked well, it has not achieved much, let's just restructure it, give it strength, and do what it's supposed to do. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honorable Moe Kipruto, member for Rongai.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker, so that I can contribute to this important bill. Mr. Speaker, the core mandate of the Kenya National Commission of Human Rights is to promote and to protect human rights in Kenya, Mr. Speaker. And it was enshrined by the Human Rights Act of 2002, and it commenced operation, Mr. Speaker, in 29 July 2003. And in 2010, Mr. Speaker, the 2002 Act was repealed, and the new one, it was constituted under Article 59 of the Constitution of 2010. Mr. Speaker, this bill proposes to merge the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights Act number of 2011 and to merge KNHCR and the National Gender and Equality Commission and form the Kenya National Human Rights and Equality Commission, as established by Article 59, Mr. Speaker, of the Constitution. Mr. Speaker, Parliament in 2011 established 3 commissions: the Kenya National Commission of Human Rights, the National Gender and Equality Commission, and the Commission on Administrative Justice, Mr. Speaker. And, Mr. Speaker, one reason advanced by the proponents of this bill is that by merging these 2 units, they will be able to reduce government expenditure, thereby saving taxpayers' money, so that they could run only one unit, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, another reason given by the proponents of this bill is that gender issues, broadly speaking, fall within the sphere of human rights. And so it means, Mr. Speaker, that the functions of the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights and the National Gender Equality Commission, the differences in terms of function, Mr. Speaker, are very negligible. So merging the 2 commissions, Mr. Speaker, will avoid duplication of roles. And the opponents, Mr. Speaker, claim that the 2 commissions play 2 very distinct roles, and that the 10 years that caused it to collapse was too soon for them to be able to judge whether this thing had been effective. Also, the opponents of this bill, Mr. Speaker, claim that human rights in Kenya have not reduced sufficiently to scale down the resources. And also these opponents claim that gender-based violence, Mr. Speaker, have increased by 30%. Thousands of new teenage pregnancies have been reported all over the country, especially during the COVID-19 period. And also they cite constitutional considerations, Mr. Speaker, whereby Article 59 was used to establish, it empowers Parliament to restructure the Kenya Human Rights Commission. But they believe, Mr. Speaker, that the article does not give Parliament the power to, or the leeway to wind up commissions. They believe that the only way that can be done, Mr. Speaker, is through a referendum. Because the roles of these two commissions, they believe that since it was a creation of the Constitution, that these cannot be just amended by Parliament, and the only way, Mr. Speaker, is through commissions. So finally, Mr. Speaker, having considered both of these views, I believe merging these two units, as far as I'm concerned, will cause a lot of efficiencies, and I believe this is the way that we could deliver services to the Kenyan people. And for that, Mr. Speaker, I support this bill.
The Honorable Abdi Yusuf, member for Kamukunji.
Mr. Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to contribute to this particular debate on the overview of the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 1 of 2020. The Kenya National Commission on Human Rights Amendment Bill number 1 of 2020, here referred to as the bill, is intended to amend the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights Act number 14 of 2011. And this bill is sponsored by a committee that I am a member of, and I therefore stand here to support it. The advantages have been mentioned in the point that the bill intends to make amendments to the effect of merging the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights and the National Gender and Equality Commission, so as to have a commission as perceived by Article 59 of the Commission of the Constitution of 2010. Article 59, Clause 1 of the 2010 Constitution establishes the Kenya National Human Rights and Equality Commission. The bill therefore intends that if passed into law, the functions of both the Kenya National Commission of Human Rights and the National Gender and Equality Commission be merged and performed by one body to be named the Kenya National Human Rights and Equality Commission. The rationale for the merger is stated to be guided by Article 59, Clause 4 of the 2010 Constitution, empowering Parliament to enact legislation to give the full effect to the provisions of Article 59, and legislation restructuring the Commission into two or more separate commissions. The merger is also informed by the intention to streamline effectiveness of the two institutions and cuts costs for the taxpayer used in operation of the two institutions. Therefore, we will be running one institution rather than two institutions. In 2011, Parliament restructured the Kenya National Human Rights and the Equality Commission into three commissions, I beg your pardon. The functions of the National Gender and Equality Commissions are stated to fall within the sphere of human rights. If we look at the bill, Clause 2 of the bill seeks to replace the definition of the word commission to mean the Kenya Human Rights and Equality Commission established under Section 3. Clause 3 seeks to amend Section 3 of the Principal Act by doing away with the Kenya National Commission of Human Rights and establishing the Kenya Human Rights and Equality Commission. And Clause 4 of the bill intends to amend the Section 8 of the Principal Act addressing the functions of the commissions to the effect of making newly emerged commission empowered to perform functions currently undertaken under the armpit of the National Gender and Equality Commission. There are several concerns that have been raised about the bill. But I would like to sort of emphasize the fact that the bill has several advantages that we need to take into consideration. If we look, for example, at Article 59 of the 2010 Constitution, which provides for the establishment of the National Human Rights and the Equality Commission, whose functions are to protect and promote respect for human rights, as well as to promote gender equality and equity, facilitating gender mainstreaming in national development. Merging the two institutions, as envisaged by the bill, is in the purview of the Constitution and Parliament to do the National Assembly, which will be exercising its legislative powers set out in Article 59, Clause 4 of the Constitution, to restructure the Commission. So I concur with the observations that the gender and equality issues fall under the sphere of human rights, and merging the institutions will bring about efficiency in addressing human rights concerns and redressing violations. A concern that should be raised in this particular case is addressing the timelines by which the merger of the two institutions should be concluded. We also need an interpretation of Article 59, Clause 4, on whether Parliament is equally empowered to merge commissions, or it is only empowered to split the Commission of Human Rights into separate commissions. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, I do support the bill.
The Honorable Millie Odhiambo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. Mr. Speaker, let me say at the onset that I oppose this bill. And Mr. Speaker, the reason I oppose this bill is I can proudly say I was one of the founders of the Constitution, and the thinking of the framers of this Constitution was to ensure that we mainstream certain rights, including women and men's rights. And that is why we need a gender commission. Even though Article 59 provides that for a commission that can be split in three, it was deemed necessary to have gender commission specifically, Mr. Speaker, because when you don't do that, what we end up having are small gender desks or gender initiatives by the government that does not go to the root of the challenges that we face in the country relating to gender. Mr. Speaker, on issues of gender, you can actually say that it affects every single aspect of our life. Before I joined Parliament, I was doing a lot of work with the government in different ministries as a consultant on mainstreaming gender, human rights, and children's rights in government policies and other issues. And Mr. Speaker, what I can tell you is that if you see the thinking and our psyche based on our socialization and psyche, unless you have a gender commission that is specifically dedicated to looking at issues of women rights, specifically, even though I know gender is both men and women, but because women are more affected, if we do not have a gender commission that is dedicated to women's rights, then what we end up having is that the issues of women and gender is sacrificed. Mr. Speaker, during this COVID pandemic period, we had a clawback on a lot of the rights of women. We saw cases, Mr. Speaker, of female genital mutilation on the rise. We saw cases of sexual violence on the rise. We saw cases of violence against women on the rise. And Mr. Speaker, many of us may be forgetting, but even as recent as a few months ago, we buried an international athlete because of domestic violence, Mr. Speaker. But when we want to take away a gender commission that is dedicated to looking at issues like that, Mr. Speaker, it means we are taking the country many, many, many years back, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, I personally would be very, very, very strongly opposed to the removal of this commission. Mr. Speaker, when you lump the issues of gender with other issues, it's actually what would get the least attention. I sit in the budget committee, and I know that, Mr. Speaker, so many times we try to push the envelope, even for this commission, and you don't get supported, Mr. Speaker, a lot of times even our own colleagues in the budget committee do not support gender budgeting, Mr. Speaker. Now you can imagine when you already have a commission and you are having a challenge putting money in the commission. What about where you do not have a dedicated commission? It means the issues of gender will totally and completely disappear. And so with those very few remarks, Mr. Speaker, I oppose very strongly.
The Honorable Oduol Adhiambo.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, indeed, as we look at how we want to ensure that we can make a difference when we discuss issues of gender, Honorable Speaker, it is clear that as a result, to a large extent, of lack of proper ways of engaging and recognizing that really, as we talk about gender, we are saying that it is not an area that people realize needs to be addressed, but it is just the institutional mechanisms that tend not to be as prepared or as engaged with those that are charged with the responsibility of oversight. And so, Honorable Speaker, it is indeed true, as the Honorable Millie and a number of members have indicated, that our practice to date, as we check even at commissions, as we check at bodies that have been singly or specifically seen to address issues of gender, that the perception, including budgetary and many other necessary frameworks that support, have not been indeed appropriately addressed. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, I would like, on grounds that we need to make deliberate effort and we need to be sure that we are not just making statements, but providing the necessary resource backup and infrastructure to oppose. Honorable Speaker, thank you.
The Honorable Obo Mohammed, member for Lamu. She's not in the House. The Honorable Wetangula, the Honorable Wanyonyi, member for Westlands.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me a chance also to speak on this. Mr. Speaker, from onset, I'll say I want to oppose this amendment. Mr. Speaker, the founding of the universal human rights in 1948, Mr. Speaker, if it addressed all human rights issues, we should never have come up with other human rights agencies. We have human rights dealing with disability, women, children, and all that, because the other one was inadequate, was not addressing all those issues. So saying that we merge these two commissions into one and they'll address the issues affecting human rights, Mr. Speaker, I think is a misplaced priority, and I believe that these two commissions have done very well. The Gender Commission, Mr. Speaker, the gains I've met are quite significant, and we must not wish it away. We must support this Gender Commission to remain separate from the Kenya National Human Rights Commission and perform the roles assigned to them by legislation. And Mr. Speaker, this is a defeatist approach, which I believe we should not go this route. Let us maintain the two commissions, the two canes that are there. The Gender Commission, Mr. Speaker, has done very well, especially in the issues dealing with disability. They have addressed issues with disability much more than the Kenya National Human Rights Commission has done. So this, I believe, it will be done very well if we maintain these commissions separately. Mr. Speaker, I believe I hold the view that we must rethink that we should not write off the benefits and the gains that these groups have made. I've listened to the contribution by Honorable Millie Odhiambo, and whatever you have said there, Mr. Speaker, is quite true. I represent an urban constituency, Mr. Speaker, and there's so much gender-based violence exhibited in these these informal settlement areas, Mr. Speaker, this cannot be addressed by one agency. It needs a multi-agency to address such issues that are affecting women and children and people with disability in such a settlement, Mr. Speaker. So I believe that, Mr. Speaker, this commission should be maintained and it should not be dissolved, Mr. Speaker. I oppose, and Mr. Speaker, thank you for giving me a chance to speak on this.
The Honorable Majimbo Kalasinga, member for Kapchai.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this time to contribute to this very important bill. And on the onset, Mr. Speaker, I stand to oppose this Human Rights Bill of 1 of 2020, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I oppose with serious reasons. One, Mr. Speaker, you cannot pretend to want to build a house by knocking off its pillars. The strength of the house, Mr. Speaker, is how many pillars you increase every day. We cannot have reached the gains, Mr. Speaker, the gains in which you have attained in Kenya, Mr. Speaker, in this, the Kenya National Gender Commission, Mr. Speaker. And we want to bring it down, to amalgamate it. Mr. Speaker, the violence, the rise in the reported cases of gender violence, Mr. Speaker, in this country, cannot even allow a thing of only having two, Mr. Speaker. In fact, Mr. Speaker, if we can borrow a leaf, from the way we amalgamated AFA, Mr. Speaker, we killed Kenya Sugar, Mr. Speaker, we killed other, and we formed AFA, Mr. Speaker. We got so many problems until now, as I talk, Mr. Speaker, the sugar board has formed itself, coming out of it, and now you see the tea and sugar. Mr. Speaker, when we look at this, if we want to bring and amalgamate, we are ending to where we ended with AFA. Two, Mr. Speaker, you know, you cannot reduce the issues of gender, Mr. Speaker, to a desk in a ministry, Mr. Speaker, because it's going to be under devolution, a simple desk, Mr. Speaker. It has no personnel, it has no links and roots to the ground. And Mr. Speaker, every gender violence that we come across as legislators, as leaders on the ground, Mr. Speaker, every morning, you cannot address more than 10 people, and you miss one gender violence act in it, Mr. Speaker. So to this, Mr. Speaker, I stand here to oppose and think that, in fact, we must see ways of how we can increase, Mr. Speaker, even have a further section that deal with the gender violence, Mr. Speaker, in schools and colleges, about children, Mr. Speaker. This will be bringing up the pillars that will strengthen the human rights in this country, but not, Mr. Speaker, by trying to knock off very important department. Mr. Speaker, so I agree with most members that this bill should be opposed, Mr. Speaker, and be opposed in totality, because, in fact, as we look at what gender means, Mr. Speaker, you find, Mr. Speaker, that so many cases that reach areas of where they want to get solutions, Mr. Speaker, like the police and where, Mr. Speaker, they are negotiated. They are told, go and negotiate, Mr. Speaker. Come down and talk to your partner. If it's a family abuse, Mr. Speaker, some of these people are told to go and negotiate down, and some of them don't get reported. Mr. Speaker, so to me, according to me, Mr. Speaker, I see that the Kenya National Gender Commission, Mr. Speaker, should be strengthened and be given more powers and money and budget, Mr. Speaker, to bring Kenya to a betterment. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I oppose this one.
The Honorable Odwor Ombaka, member for Siaya.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity. I'd like to oppose this because the gender issues are not small matters that can be thrown into a corner and become a desk issue. It is a whole ministry thing. And so when a commission is set for it, let it be a commission that deals with gender issues most effectively. Gender issues are not minor issues. It cannot be merged with another, nor can it be made a small department within another commission. So to me, we are missing the boat. We cannot merge this. We have successfully managed gender-based issues. Up to now, we've done our best. We still have a lot of weaknesses. So if you bring it to another commission, you merge it, you collapse it into one, with others, it will disappear. We will not see the results of what we've done, nor see what we are going to do in future. So to me, I object the merger of the two commissions simply because the issues will not be addressed effectively as we have done in the past. And so, like everybody else, or most people in here, most contributors in this House, I oppose vehemently. Thank you.
The Honorable Mule Mutinda, member for Matungu.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, on the outset, it's very clear that I think the drafter of this bill never understood why these commissions were done. Mr. Speaker, last Parliament, we formed Human Rights Caucus of this Parliament with my colleagues, Honorable Neto and the late Ken Okoth. May God rest his soul in peace. And Mr. Speaker, why we did that was squarely to make sure that we strengthen the work of the commissions, the gender commissions, what they are doing, and separate powers, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it's unfortunate today we are looking at the gender commission as an issue of women. Mr. Speaker, today me and you, we have been talking about the boy child. In another 2 to 3 decades to come, the gender which will be suffering will be the boy child. So they must have a commission which will take care of their needs when that time comes. Mr. Speaker, this notion of merging things is a bit worrying in this country. And it is very clear. You merge, or the government side merge URP, TNA, then they collapse all the political parties to form Jubilee. You are merging to form a monster which cannot sustain itself, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it is high time we protect these commissions and strengthen them to do the job they are supposed to do for Kenyans. Mr. Speaker, when you look at the ideology, it beats the purpose of why the commission was formed. Mr. Speaker, it is unfortunate today, at this hour, we want to kill the gains which have been done by this commission, the Gender Commission, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, without wasting time, I wish you could be putting the question now. We kill this thing once and for all and allow the commissions to do the best job they can do, because these commissions are not for this time, but they are commissions which will prefer and move this country forward for generation and generations to come. So, Mr. Speaker, I oppose in totality and will mobilize members in this House to oppose this bill so that we can find better ways of strengthening this commission. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honorable Mushira Mwangi, member for Old Jorol.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, I rise to support this bill, the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights Amendment Bill, Mr. Speaker. From my understanding, Mr. Speaker, the aim of this amendment is to form one strong commission that will be, Mr. Speaker, the aim of this bill is to form one strong commission that will have its presence felt all over the country. As it is now, Mr. Speaker, we have commissions whose presence is only felt here in Nairobi. If you come to my rural area, Mr. Speaker, and ask people about GEC, nobody knows about it. Mr. Speaker, if I was to be asked, we would merge all the three commissions, both the GEC and the Commission for Administrative of Justice, CAJ, Ombudsman Office, and the Kenya National Human Rights Commission. We form one commission, and then we strengthen 8 so that we have office in every county, in all the 47 counties. And then, Mr. Speaker, right now, as a country, we are facing the problem of ballooning wage bills. We need to think of ways of reducing the wage bills, the operations cost, so that we are left with enough money to do developments. Mr. Speaker, the commissions that we have now are doing duplications. There is duplication of duties. We have a commission, two or three commissions doing the same job.
The Honorable Millie Odhiambo, the Speaker has been very, very kind to you today. You do not have your card, you have spoken. Let him speak.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
We will have an opportunity.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
To make a decision.
Mr. Speaker, as I was saying, we have commissions with duplication of duties. One commission is doing this, another commission is doing the same thing. Mr. Speaker, the merger of the two commissions will create effectiveness. So, Mr. Speaker, you know, in this commission, Mr. Speaker, we have some of the commissions, I don't know whether they don't have work. We have commissioners, some of the commissioners, hopping from one political array to another. And he or she is a commissioner, Mr. Speaker. This gives us with a perception like the commissions as they are very idle. Why would we have a commissioner hopping from one political array to another while we are expecting them to be delivering on their duties? And Mr. Speaker, with those few remarks, I support the bill, and if I was to be asked, we would even amend the bill and include CAJ. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honorable Millie Odhiambo, what is out of order?
Mr. Speaker, I think what I wanted to raise is the honorable member in order to infer improper motive on commissioners of the Gender Commission saying they are moving around, playing politics, when we even know other people in ministries are going around. We have CSS that are going around playing politics. Why don't we then abolish those ministries? Why is it that when it comes to gender issues is when you see people moving around? That is absolute bias, and the same reason we need the Gender Commission, so that we don't have such a cake thought.
The Honorable Millie, clearly there was nothing out of order. The Honorable Obo Mohammed, member for Lamu.
Asante Bwana Spika. Mimi napinga. Napinga kabisa. Bwana Spika, hizi tume zikichanganywa, haki za kina mama au za wanawake zitakaliwa. Bwana Spika, kuna tume nyingi Kenya. Kwa nini iwe tume hii ya kijinsia ndio wataka kuunganisha? Mimi naona hizi ni vita baridi juu ya wanawake. Kwa sahihi, Bwana Spika, tunaweza sema wanawake kwa sababu sisi ndio tunakaliwa zaidi hapa Kenya. Bwana Spika, tafadhali naomba.
The Honorable Member for Matungulu, you will allow the member for Lamu to speak. The Honorable Member for Lamu feel appropriately protected in this house and proceed. You have every right to speak in this place.
Bwana Spika, tunakumbuka vizuri rais wetu mpendwa Rais Uhuru Kenyatta si mbali alichukua ahadi kwamba atapigana vita vya ukatili ya juu ya jinsia. Kwa hivyo basi, kwa sababu hiyo tunafaa kuipa hii tume nguvu iweze kupigana vita hivyo. Bwana Spika, tunafaa kutafuta mbinu ambazo zitapatia hizi tume nguvu iweze kupigana vita hizi. Kwa mfano, kila police station, kila polisi iwe na ile desk, dawati la jinsia. Kwa sababu ukitembea utapata sehemu zingine bado hakuna polisi mwanamke pale, au hiyo desk haina nguvu. Ukifika ukiuliza unaona hawako au hakuna mtu akuwa hapo. Bwana Spika, mbinu nyingine ya kuweza kuongeza nguvu hizi tume, manake isikuwe tume tu pale ikuwe na pesa, ikuwe na uwezo wa kufanya mambo. Kwa mfano, Pia nayo tume inafaa kuhakikisha kila wakichagua maaskari au wakiajiri maaskari, askari wanawake wachaguliwe wengi. Maana tume inaweza kuwa pale lakini hawana uwezo wa haya mambo kufanyika. Ukichaguliwa wanawake wengi wapelekwe, maana kama mfano kule kaunti ya Lamu pengine wanawake wote kaunti nzima maaskari ni 10 peke yake. Wengine wote ni wanaume. Hata wale watu wa drugs wakifika kwenye zile zinaitwa nini, barrier. Ukifika pale kumwangalia yule mwanamke anakuambia usiniangalie, kumbe wameficha hizo drugs huko ndani. Sasa hizi tume zinafaa kupewa nguvu, nao zipateni nguvu kule ambao zaweza kupigana na vita hivi za jinsia. Ndio pia wawezeshe kila...
The Honorable Obo, just hold on. The Honorable Sankok, what is out of order?
I rise on point of order in terms of relevance. Honorable Speaker, I think National Gender and Equality Commission is not involved in hiring and firing of women and ladies in the police force and so on. So let us confirm ourselves into the managing.
The Honorable Sankok, that is not your province. That is the province of the Speaker.
Yes.
And the Honorable
Yes,
Member for Lamu is quite in order to sue for more women to be employed. It is quite in order for her to speak to this. Proceed, Member for Lamu.
Asante Bwana Speaker. Asante. Bwana Speaker, itawezekana vipi wanawake wapate haki zao ikiwa wanaume, tukiangalia tu, si huo ni upande mmoja, natoa mfano. Lamu wanawake wote polisi ni 10. Watapata haki wapi wanawake wetu? Kwa hivyo mheshimiwa kama hajaelewa hapo, nafikiri atabidi asikize kwa makini aelewe. Bwana Speaker, mimi sina mengi zaidi lakini napinga. Asante.
The Honorable Kevin Wanyonyi, Member for Kwanza.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for the opportunity. I think this is a misplaced issue because, Mr. Speaker, we are in developing country, and I'm not very sure that we are fully developed to the extent that we can now merge the two commissions. I believe let's give ourselves time. Let's give ourselves time. Let each commission actually grow. Let's see the gains made. And at a certain point, we can merge the two. But at the moment you merge the two, again, some of the gains made by each one of those commissions will be distorted. We are in the country, and today, you and I know we have a problem of gender. Even where I come from, people are still having that notion that actually women should not be heard, not be seen. That kind of thing is still there within the African communities. And I personally still see that in my own area, that women are there to be seen, a child is there to be seen, not to be heard. And therefore, with this kind of thing, and the moment you now match the two, we just can't run ourselves into it because we are not short of manpower. Somebody's talking about because of the economic activities and because of the problem we're having. That is not an issue today because, Mr. Speaker, we have no problem with human resources. And therefore, to be able to have the two move separately, I think is the best way. And I think whoever has proposed this motion, or bill rather, should wait. I think maybe the next 10 years or so. But at the moment, no, it's a misplaced priority, and therefore I totally oppose this particular bill. Matching will lead to more confusion. As somebody is talking about, men will be there, saying we have the rights, and women have got the more rights. So where are we getting to? Getting more confused. And therefore, I want to oppose this, and I think we should shelve this bill until further notice. I totally oppose this. Thank you.
The Honorable Cheriot Jesire, Member for Baringo.
Mr. Speaker, let me put on my mask first.
so that people cannot read what I'm intending to say. Mr. Speaker, thank you for the opportunity given to me to contribute to this bill. And Mr. Speaker, on the onset, I'm opposing this bill. Mr. Speaker, I know the originator of the bill, being a committee, had some intentions that are well known to them, the reason as to why they want to merge these bills. But then, Mr. Speaker, sir, the reason as to why the Gender Commission was created and equality, while the human right was there, must have been very strong such that this other one developed. Mr. Speaker, we know very well the issues basing or affecting gender in this country, including even the one that we have been dealing with in this House, has never been resolved. Having said that, Mr. Speaker, the Gender Commission is so vital because it is handling issues to do with a marginalized group in the society. Mr. Speaker, even in the very House we are speaking from, we know very well that we still have gender issues. Gender mainstreaming, Mr. Speaker, is still a real issue in this country. We had better give time to this commission to try and handle and solve the issues that are affecting this gender before we decide to merge it. Mr. Speaker, some people are saying we want to merge it so that we can save some money. It could be a good idea. But again, Mr. Speaker, the way some people also want to take it is that the commission being led by maybe women or some sort of, by women, some people somewhere and some quarters, and people are starting to politic about it, Mr. Speaker, that this commission could be favoring some gender, which is not true, Mr. Speaker. The truth of the matter, none of our homes has gender issues. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, let this commission continue. I don't think it calls for a lot of finances that can really lead this country into bankruptcy, to really cry to delete Gender Commission that us as women have been running to really try and correct a few anomalies and few practices that are really disturbing gender in this country. And Mr. Speaker, as we go towards elections, of course we know we have challenges that come to both gender, but more specifically to women. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, for me, I really oppose the merging. I support that let the Gender Commission continue. I support that let this Gender Commission continue resolving the issues, though it might not finish them as soon as we might think, and give them time to work on this. Let those who have some fears get rest, get to understand that this commission has nothing to do with finishing another gender, and this commission is interested in really bringing equality that actually has let women down for a long time. I know very well, Mr. Speaker, Sangok here must get some discipline, that I have an equal measure, the privilege to discuss.
The Honorable Jesire, do not worry about the Honorable Sankok. Just address the Speaker. The Honorable Sankok let the member for Baringo speak. Please allow her to speak.
Yeah.
She has every right to this floor.
And thank you, Speaker, and you remind him that he's my junior, depending on how he came to this House. Mr. Speaker, let me oppose this bill. Let me repeat opposing, despite this Swangok distracting. I'm glad that you protected me, Mr. Speaker. And so let's allow this commission go on. At this moment, we need it more than before. And for us, as this other gender of female gender, we are glad to have it. We feel the fruits, we feel the change, we feel the protection, and let not people be cheated that it is really taking so much of the country funds it is helping this country to bring equality, and so that we cannot leave half or more than half of the human resource outside, so that this country can develop. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I beg to stop there, but strongly opposing.
Honorable members, seeing that there is no further interest in it, I now call upon the mover to reply.
I thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, on behalf of the Constitution Implementation Oversight Committee, allow me to take this very first chance to thank all members who have contributed, both in support and in opposition. Honorable Speaker, I've listened very keenly, even the times I was away from the House, to the contributions by members. And I think they have all been gratifying. Honorable Speaker, as we said when the bill was being moved, we have groups within our society who, for the first time, the Constitution are singling out in terms of specialized treatment on human rights matters. These are the children whom Honorable Millie has been very passionate about, and we thank her for it. These are the youth. We have persons with disabilities. We have older persons. We have minorities and marginalized groups, among other sections of the society. Honorable Speaker, for quite some time, the country has been lamenting about the number of commissions and whether there is duplicity, and whether the nation is going to afford the expenses. I did say, Honorable Speaker, when I was moving, that the power to split and establish other commissions was donated to Parliament by Article 59, sub-Article 4. But I also alerted this House, Honorable Speaker, to the fact that the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights, as currently established, is not in full accord with the Constitution, because the Constitution establishes the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights, Kenya National Human Rights and Equality Commission. Now, we've taken out the name equality, and that runs contrary to the commission as established in the Constitution. So that is one thing that the committee sought to remedy. Honorable Speaker, we've been concerned about the number of commissions. Let us be frank, members. The cost we are taking into, whether we call it Gender and Equality Commission, Kenya National Commission on Human Rights, and all these other commissions, if it can be avoided, we agreed in principle, they be collapsed. And remember, Honorable Speaker, there was clamor, even at the level of the executive, that state parastatals be collapsed, because the wage bill is too big. We are now talking of the Gender and Equality Commission, which Parliament was right to establish. But just a short while before, the youths were claiming their commission, away from Kenya National Commission on Human Rights and the Gender and Equality Commission. And you remember, even in the BBI, Honorable Speaker, a youth commission was being established. I want to tell honorable members that persons with disability are claiming their commission. And if you don't consolidate these things into Article 59(1) commission, the single one established, there is no way you are going to stop Honorable Sankok and the special group in Kenya, whom he represents in the House, from also claiming and getting persons with disabilities commission. Minorities and marginalized groups are claiming their commission. Before you know it, in addition to the youth commission you are creating, children will seek their commission. What we will be doing in the long run, and I needed to alert the members about this, is that you will be creating commissions for all these specialized or special groups in our society. And they will be duplicitous in the sense that the limit and the remit of their mandate will be about the human rights issues affecting those sections. And that is why we were saying, let us establish Kenya National Commission on Human Rights and Equality Commission, as already established in the Constitution. Then we can have sections or departments, directed and targeting these specialized groups, so that you'll have a gender department with specialized bodies. You'll have persons with disabilities department. You'll have a youth department. You'll have a department dealing with minorities and marginalized groups and how they can be mainstreamed. You'll have the older persons, human rights issues department. But you have an umbrella Kenya National Commission on Human Rights body being mandated, reporting to Parliament on a lean budget, instead of our having all those commissions being clamored for, getting commissioners 3 to 7 with secretariat below them. That is the wisdom of this bill. Honorable Speaker, there has been a question in the debate about what is going to happen to the National Gender and Equality Commission henceforth, or if we were to pass the bill. And Honorable Speaker, I want to request members to look at bills before we debate them. We have very explicit transitory clause within the bill in terms of how this commission, upon their merger, are going to integrate, and how the interest of both the commissioners, because we know there are contractual obligations of the state, and the staff of the commission are going to be treated. Let me assure members that what you are seeing in the bill is not even the totality of what the committee will be transacting. During public participation, we also got observations which we are putting together in addition to what is being said here. And Honorable Speaker, there are amendments which the committee, if members cared to look at the report, are already proposing to improve on this. But the main thing is that let us streamline human rights issues under a single commission, as Article 59, Sub-Article 9, Sub-Article 1 prescribes, and then we have the specific issues, or issues specific to the various segments of our society addressed. Honorable Speaker, the matter of gender still remains a sensitive matter. It is a sensitive matter. And Honorable Speaker, it saddens me when the idea of gender is being misinterpreted to mean women. Gender is gender. So Gender and Equality Commission serves the women as it serves men. And those gender issues remain pertinent. What we are saying is that let gender find its location within the Kenya National Human Rights and Equality Commission with the focus, instead of our being duplicitous. In the current setup, Honorable Speaker, when you are dealing with gender issues as a human rights issues, do you call Kenya National Commission on Human Rights, or you call National Gender and Equality Commission? These are the things we are trying to deal with, in as much as we are also reducing what we call the wage bill on matters that can be done properly with one purely body mandated by the Constitution and properly integrated. Honorable Speaker, with those very many remarks, I thank the members for their contributions. This is not a personal, bill. We have no personalized issue. We are providing a solution to the country in terms of how to mainstream these commissions and to align them to the Constitution. Whatever decision you make, members, you do make it alive to what we set out in the Memorandum of Objects as our guiding motto and principle in terms of bringing this bill. Honorable Speaker, I thank you and I humbly reply.
Very well. Honorable members, I direct that the next steps on this particular business will be undertaken when the matter will be set down on the order paper for consideration next time. I direct that we move on to the next order on the... What is out of order, the Honorable Sankok?
Honorable Speaker, I know we have quite some business to transact, but I don't think we are properly constituted. We don't have requisite quorum in this house. And these are very serious businesses that are coming.
The Honorable Sankok, having stood in his place and raised the matter of quorum, I direct It's clear that the House is not appropriately quoted. I direct that the quorum bell to ring for 10 minutes. Sergeant at Arms, the bell for 10 minutes.
Yeah, because if he's planning to run 5 minutes, he can't. Yeah, about 5 minutes. Select another to that. Are these guys ringing the bells? What's wrong with these guys? Are they ringing the bell? Yeah, I don't know. No, it is 10 minutes. Because I'm giving presents. Yeah. So you have 5 minutes, you select. So I'm going to the Caribbean, I'm sleeping. But when I ring, so Quorum giving presents is only 10 minutes, and that's all. So here 10 minutes is are they ringing? Who is supposed to ring? So we can have a chance there. You know, sergeants are never attending, eh? So you pick a Sergeant. Ikifika 5:22 mjana jana. No, these guys are never in the house. Simple work. On the west side of the house, almost 3 minutes. They have failed to enforce the right to speak the house. And you know they're always like that. By the way, the same thing we had done. We were on the other side of the because I don't think I'm not going to say one minute. Kasema kamwandikia memo.
There's nobody showing any interest in doing anything. So how does it move? No, there will be no interest. So I move second, reply. I move second, reply. Kesho tuwatangaze, tuwaite.
Honorable members, I direct that the quorum bell to stop ringing now. It has rung for 10 minutes. And as per our standing orders, honorable members, we are unable to raise the requisite quorum. Therefore, honorable members, the time being 5:21 p.m., this House stands adjourned until Wednesday, the 17th November 2021 at 9:30 a.m.